The New York Knicks are undoubtedly in trouble right now. After going up 2-0 on the Indiana Pacers in two hard-fought victories, they lost Game 3 in heartbreaking fashion. This was a game for the Knicks that, if they had won, would have more than likely catapulted them into the Eastern Conference Finals, because no team in NBA history has ever come back from down 0-3. But now, the Pacers are back in the series, and this is absolutely terrible for the Knicks. First things first, I want to say that I do not think that this series is over for the Knicks by any means. I feel like the thumbnail, the title, and even the intro is probably making it seem like I think the Pacers have this in the bag. If I had to pick, if I had to bet, I would still have the New York Knicks winning this series. So I want to get that out of the way right away, because I already know people are going to attack me in the comment section if I didn't say that. In games 1 and 2, the games were close, but the Knicks ended up coming out with the victory at Madison Square Garden. And game 3 was a crazy one, because I feel like we had two players, one on each team, really break out in this game. And for the Indiana Pacers, that was Tyrese Halliburton, who in game 1 only had, I think, 6 points. In game 2, he also kind of went off. He had like a 34 points, but this game, it really felt like Tyrese was feeling it. He was more confident. He was in his groove. He was pulling threes from pretty much everywhere. And personally, I just want to add this in. Once I saw him in his groove early in the first quarter, I think he had back-to-back 3-pointers. I was like, yeah, he's feeling it. I went and I placed a bet. I had him for over 4.5 threes. He finished with 6. And the point I'm trying to make is just like, Tyrese is one of those players that when he's feeling it, like, he's on, you know what I'm saying? He's confident. He's taking those shots that he should be taking rather than, you know, passing him up. We know he's a great passer, but Tyrese was in his bag all game. And the other player, which is of course on the other team, is Donte DiVincenzo. Brunson was a little bit banged up this game, so he wasn't, you know, fully Brunson. And the Knicks needed somebody to step up, and Donte DiVincenzo did that fully. In this game, Donte DiVincenzo was red hot from the first quarter. He had 7 threes. It felt like he couldn't miss. 7 for 11 from the 3-point line. He was looking like prime Klay Thompson. And not only in this game, but in pretty much all of the playoff games, it feels like whenever the Knicks need a bucket, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they're going to Brunson, but when Brunson gets doubled, it always ends up in Donte's hands, and he always ends up hitting some clutch threes. After the Knicks traded everyone that they traded, like Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, they even traded you like Evan Fournier, although he didn't really play. This team needed some people to step up, and I guess they believed in Donte DiVincenzo. He was always solid, but with those players leaving, Donte DiVincenzo has looked like a completely different player on this Knicks roster. And as good as Donte played, the Knicks really needed more help, and I feel like they really didn't get it. Of course, you have Josh Hart, who's out there giving, you know, 110%. He had 18 rebounds. He's seriously one of the best rebounders in the league, and I think he's 6'4", which is just insane. Like, I think if you were to go per height or whatever, you know how it's like pound for pound when it comes to fighting, if you go like inch for inch when it comes to rebounding in the NBA, Josh Hart's probably the best rebounder in the NBA. But yeah, Donte went off. He had 35 points. I honestly thought he was going to get 40 because I think he had 32 heading into the fourth quarter. Brunson had 26, but he was 10 for 26 from the field. Not great. And then honestly, Miles McBride was not terrible off the bench, and Alec Burks got subbed into this game. They needed Jericho Sims and Alec Burks off the bench. Burks had 14 points. He was 4 for 6, 2 for 4 from the line. And I honestly see the Knicks using Alec Burks more in this series moving forward. Before we get to the guy that I really want to talk about, or just the craziest play of the game, on the Pacers, we got to talk about Pascal Siakam, who's just been very solid the entire playoffs so far. When this Pacers team has been kind of up and down, Halliburton has his moments where it's like, is this guy the star point guard that we thought he was? I'm not sure. But then sometimes, more than not, he does show up. But he's kind of a little inconsistent, or he has been in the playoffs. Pascal Siakam has been about as solid as they come. 26 points, 7 boards for him in game 3, 9 for 14. Also, you got to mention Miles Turner, who's having a very solid series and a very solid playoffs overall. 21 points in this one, 10 boards and 1 assist for him, 7 for 13 from the field. If the Pacers are going to win this series, the guy that I want to see step up, the guy that I think is the X factor in this series, is Aaron Nesmith. And I'm gonna say it now, I think Aaron Nesmith could be a genuine star in this league. Like, I think he has that potential. Like, I think he has that most improved player potential, maybe next year, maybe the year after. If you guys watch Aaron Nesmith play, like, he shows those great flashes, not only offensively but defensively. All over, you know, Twitter or just in the NBA world, everyone's begging for TJ McConnell to essentially guard Brunson all game because he does do a really good job. But something that I want to see the Pacers do is I want to see Nesmith on Brunson a little bit more. I think Nesmith would do a pretty solid job on Brunson, and we saw that in game 3 when he was on him a little bit. But overall, the Pacers really don't have like a great defensive like player to put on these opposing guards. Like, if they were to run into, you know, Jalen Brunson, let's say they made it to the NBA Finals somehow and they had to play, you know, SGA or Luka or Kyrie, someone like that, they really don't have like a great defensive player to shut down opposing guards. So they just kind of have to do their best to play team defense. And now we got to talk about him. Andrew Nembhard has been very solid all postseason, was not solid in this one. He was 1 for 7 from the field going into pretty much the last 16 seconds of this game, where he hit a huge three. Like, it was the type of three that I got chills when it went in, because the whole Indiana crowd was erupting. It was pretty much at the shot clock. Like, they were clamped. I'm not gonna lie, they couldn't get a shot up. Nembhard just kind of had to shoot something up, and it manages to go in. Now, the game wasn't over at this point. I believe Brunson came down and ended up missing a three to tie it, but this was a tie game, potentially going to overtime. It kind of had that overtime feel, and Andrew Nembhard stepped up. He hit a huge three that I don't even think he thought was going in. Like, I don't really think anyone thought that it was going in. And so you guys are probably wondering, why is Solo titling this video that the Knicks are in trouble? Why is that kind of a theme for the beginning of this video? And the reason why the Knicks are in trouble, and Knicks fans may agree or disagree with this take, is because of their health. Obviously, early this season, the Knicks lost Julius Randle. He's out for the season with a shoulder injury, but now they have more injuries because Bojan Bogdanovic is also out for the season with a left foot and left wrist injury, and Mitchell Robinson, who's been huge for them in the paint, not only getting offensive boards, but just defensively, he's been huge for them. He's out for the season. And then on top of Robinson, Bogdanovic, and Randall being out, OG Anunoby missed game 3 and is gonna miss game 4. Maybe he'll miss games 5, 6, 7. What, I don't know what's gonna happen in the rest of the series, but maybe he misses more time. And then also, your star player Jalen Brunson has a foot injury, and it really worries me because the way that Thibs runs his rotation, he pretty much just runs guys into the ground, right? And maybe that's why they have all these injuries. I'm not saying that's why, but maybe. And Brunson has a foot injury, and they're still gonna be playing him 40 minutes a game. I don't think that's gonna be good for him, but it's the playoffs. You got to do what you got to do. Honestly, I would probably play him a little bit less. But if it comes down to it, it's a close game, you got to put Brunson out there. And at the end of the day, when you have all of these injuries, you need guys like Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein to step up. And it's like, I just don't know if they can do that for a 7-game series. And again, I'm picking the Knicks to win this series, so I kind of believe in them to get 2 more wins. Just the chemistry of this team, the Villanova connection with Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo. Chemistry is a huge factor in this series, and not only this series, but the playoffs in general. And the Knicks have that chemistry. You know what I'm saying? They believe in each other. They're all locked in. But when it comes to like skill, like team versus team on paper, with the Knicks injuries, the Pacers just have the better team right now. They have the more healthy team. Their only injury is Benedict Mathurin, who got injured, I don't know, 2 months ago, and he's out for the season. The Knicks have like 6 injuries, and you got Brunson playing through an injury. It's just not good for the Knicks. And Nembhard hitting that 3 at the end of game 3 to give the Pacers life is a lot more, you know, interesting. It's a lot more serious than I think a lot of people really realize. Like, I thought the Knicks were about to go to the Eastern Conference Finals in the game 3. I thought they were gonna win. I was literally preparing a tweet, which maybe you guys will see, you know, if the Knicks go up 3-1, maybe I'll put out the tweet, or maybe I'll just wait for them to win. But I had a whole tweet ready because I thought the series is over, but now it's 2-1. The Pacers have life. And in the comment section, let me know, who do you guys have winning the series and in how many games? You got Knicks 4-3, Pacers 4-3, you got Pacers winning 4-2. Let me know. I'm gonna go Knicks winning in 7, but this series just got a whole lot more interesting after game 3.